you and Brian to do this. That's what you got.
No.
You said that. Here's the problem. I'm not a bad guy. I don't like to attack people. This is about you and child pornography.
Much brighter than this. I'm telling you that there is no police report that they came to my house.
I'm not saying that there's a police report that came to your house. What I'm saying is that there's a police report about you and child pornography in your computer.
No, it was not even on my computer. It was on my phone.
About you and child.
And on my kids, that I have no recollection, and no one in the city hall ever told me to go and hurt your business. No one. I'm going to tell you something else.
Why did we meet in Paxo that day?
To try to smooth things out.
But right, what was the issue though?
Fred, it's been so many things. Let's talk about the press, okay?
Well, because it's important because if these are these elected officials are the reason why we're doing this. This is why the city's so divided. At what point are we going to say, you know what, enough of these people doing this to us, and we need to start to speak out about it, right?
Let me just finish this up again. Okay, the video that you think I got from Vinny, I swear on the same.
No, I know you got it from a friend. A family member. I know.
Okay,
but Vinny is the reason why you got that to begin with, though.
What do you mean?
The video.
What do you mean Vinny is the one?
Because Vinny got the family member to give it to you.
No.
So how did you know about that video to begin with? They just came to you.
Well, I'm just exactly.
Right. Why?
I think you had a problem.
Right.
With this family member.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm Freddy Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Let's discuss the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on Basement Politics today. Happy Wednesday. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Freddy Vasquez here live and direct, coming to you today to talk about the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. That's right, folks. Today, again, I got some posts that was sent to me that were just quite nasty, right? Just very, disgusting. Talking about my wife again, talking about other members of the community. And I want you to know where it all stems from. And so the audio that you heard there was Ruros basically telling me where he got the video, also telling me that if I take everything down of whatever I said about him, that he would have Brian stop posting about me and take everything down. So they are attacking me, or he's attacking me through Brian, but this is all coming from City Hall. That's right, folks. They want me to shut down my podcast, especially as we near the primary elections. I continue to talk about things that they do not like. And so they're throwing my wife in there now, my kids, my daughter. And so I want you to know where it's coming from, right? And so this is very important because, again, like I said in there, it divides our community. It puts out false information, false allegations. And this is coming from elected officials. People who are supposed to be professionals, supposed to help the community, not attack the community. And a lot of these attacks come from the city clerk's office, Vinny Spano. And so I want to show you exactly what they post. Well, I want to show you about the corruption here. They're trying to make it seem like Freddy's just crazy. But Freddy's not crazy. This is information that's been talked about for years now. And there was an article in LoHUD by Phil Reisman about all this corruption, about everything that I'm talking about. So you know that Freddy's not just making this up, that Freddy's not crazy and he's going to have some kind of legal issues where I'm going to get all these people in trouble. No, this is happening Other people have written about it, and it still continues to happen. And I'm just picking up where they may have left off. This is Phil Reisman, a 2014 article in LoHud. Anonymous grumblers love to say that Nick is really running the city. That may be an exaggeration, but questions about the extent of his involvement in the day-to-day decision-making are always out there. For when it comes to Yonkers, it's all in the family for Nick. Things big and small don't just happen by accident in Yonkers. Exactly. The city works on connections, relationships, the granting of favors, and the dispensing of jobs, many of which go to members of the vast Spano family and their cronies. And they don't like me speaking about it, so they're using these terrorists on the internet to attack my family. If it was me, fine, I wouldn't care. And if it was just me, I wouldn't care. But they go after other individuals because of me, and I feel some responsibility to stand up for them and defend them as well. Putting together a comprehensive Spano flow chart would be a daunting task, but I hear Corazon Pineda Isaac may already have done that. Her husband, Mr. Jonathan there, has a list that he can show you. Please make it public. It would obviously include City Clerk Vincent Spano, where these attacks from Brian and Rue Rose are coming from on my family. Nick and Mike's kid brother, who last week married Jamie McGill, and we'll talk about her in a sec, the executive director of the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. McGill was given the $85,000 a year job after serving in 2013 as the campaign manager for City Council President, or former City Council President, Liam McLaughlin, who's now the Yonkers Inspector General. Then there's Kelly Olson Chiarella, the sister of Yonkers PBA President Keith Olson. In January, Chiarella was named assistant to the mayor, constituent services for the Office of the Aging. The $90,000 a year job amounted to a promotion and a boost in pay for Chiarella, who worked for Gail Burns, the former head of the Westchester Conservative Party and a longtime aide to Nick. Chiarella's promotion followed the city's contract negotiations with the police, which resulted in a 23.5% pay raise spread over 10 years, retroactive to 2009. Was this merely a coincidence? Back to Gail Burns for a second. After she was ousted from her party chairmanship in 2011, Koo, the Westchester County Board of Legislator under then Chairman Ken Jenkins, gave her a 3-month job of dubious importance for $15,000 a year. In January of this year, the Spano machine made Jenkins, president of the IDA, a part-time gig that pays $60,000 in addition to his other part-time job as a $49,200 a year Yonkers legislator. And it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. And that is what I am speaking about, that they don't like. And so what is their response? They don't discredit me by saying, no, you're wrong. Or this is what the truth is, Freddy. Or let me come on your podcast and correct you and tell you what I am doing, how I am helping the community, the city of Yonkers, grow and benefit those that live here. No, they just hire Brian Harrod and Rue Rose to attack my family. My 11-year-old daughter, Jamie McGill Spano, as she was mentioned in that article by Phil Reisman, is the wife of Vinny Spano, the city clerk. She emailed me a couple of times talking about how much she loved her family and how she was all about protecting them. And I respect that because I'm all about protecting mine. But her husband seems to have no boundaries, no limitations when it comes to attacking people. And many people know this as they've been attacked. Their family members have been attacked, their wives, kids as well, using Brian Harrod and Rue Rose. That's how they make their money. The sister-in-law of the mayor, Jamie McGill Spano, who started out making $85,000 a year, now makes $135,000 a year. What qualifications does she have, experience does she have to have been given this position? And here you can see a history of the salary increases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, from 85 to 135,000. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? 50,000, 7 years. And you see a lot of individuals who are related or connected to the nepotism system get these huge raises, which within a short amount of time, 40, 50, $60,000 raises. Vincent Spano, the city clerk, her husband, brings home $183,000 together. That's over what, 100 some thousand dollars, 311,000. Add the person, the benefits, city vehicles and all that. You're looking at $400,000 a year for these two in city residents, taxpayer money. And this is what they do to people who live here, who speak out against what's wrong. They attack their family. They go after their kids. They blast their kids' face all on this social media site, saying things that make me as a father uncomfortable, and they don't care. So let's talk about facts. There goes the lovely Jamie. My wife is all over the newswire. Jamie, I thought maybe people like to see you. And so some of the things, folks, I want you to understand that they are lies. They're lies, but people may not know. They can hurt reputation. They can hurt your business. They don't care. They will continue to post some of the most nasty things. And so, you know, again, more posts from Brian Harrod in the Newswire involving people that have nothing to do with me. The Caters are not behind me, supporting me. They're not giving me any of the information. Not at all. That stuff is coming from a number of people, a lot of people who are fed up with what's happening here in the city of Yonkers, insiders that know throughout the city, that are seeing this, that need for it to get out, that want this information out there. And they know that the way they get it out is through basement politics. And so their attempt to try to shut me down by attacking my family is not going to work. And it's not going to cause me to do anything illegal or be aggressive in any way. It's not going to trigger me to do that. I'm just going to continue putting out information. That's what I'll do. And this is the stuff that they've been putting on. Why was Johnny Kilo Cater at Kenny's Cafe years back? So again, making reference to John Cater and cocaine. I'll tell you one thing, out of all the people I've been around in this politics thing here in Yonkers, John Cater is one of the few individuals that I saw that did not ever once look like he was on cocaine. I've been to John Cater's home several times, to his office many times. I've seen him at events. And I've never seen John Cater look like he had sniffed a line or two. But I can't say the same for certain other officials and councilmen. And that's not okay, because the man has a business. The man has a family. He has kids. And he's a private citizen. And I feel like because of me, they're attacking him. So I have to defend the man. I have to defend his family. Currently, their mother has been in the hospital and he's dealing with that. They're dealing with that. Yet, and still, they don't care. And this is why I've been the way I've been with my podcast. These people are nasty, regardless how they present themselves to the public. Behind closed doors, these are not the nicest people. Talking about psychosis. Has my wife there along with John Cater's picture. Right? He talks about Carolyn Elizabeth Marie, again, a woman that's done a lot for the community, that's advocated for seniors. What has any of them done for our community? Jamie McGill will get a job making $135,000 a year after she marries Vinny Spano. Vinny Spano is appointed to city clerk simply because his last name is Spano. Seda Jerris, the wife of Zahi Jerris, gets a $130,000 supervisor job at DPW, but can't pass the test? Doesn't matter. She gets the job anyway. Doesn't matter if there's a language barrier there. I'm sure the employees could figure out what she's trying to tell them for the day. How can she supervise them? Doesn't matter because these are no-show jobs. Insiders say Vinny barely shows up to work. Jamie's not there at 470 at the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency. What is the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency? And this is important to know. They're giving all the tax breaks to all these developers. You know, the ones that are taking all the land, all the property, encroaching on our space. Development in Yonkers has been nothing short of booming in recent years. Projects like Lionsgate Studios, MGM Raceway, and the continued transformation of the Hudson River waterfront to luxury residence begs the question of how this all happens, who is involved, and what the future plan may be. The Yonkers Industrial Development Agency is not unique in New York. In fact, New York State defines and encourages the existence of these quasi-governmental agencies. The primary benefit is to loosen rules. And they have been loosening a lot of zoning rules for sure, and provide exemption of certain taxes, which they've done a lot as well, that can spur the development of land use projects and bolster local economies. Effectively, a municipal government coordinates with an IDA and that IDA engages private developers to build projects like residential housing, commercial shopping, etc. The relationship between the IDAs and their local governments and the developers can become murky, and therefore produce confusion and speculation on projects and processes. Beyond Yonkers, IDA statewide have faced criticism and even criminal charges. Look up the Orange County IDA. The Yonkers IDA has existed for decades and produced much of the change in the city. The agency puts forth guidelines and the process for transparency and compliance. The YIDA also publishes notices of public hearings, which they do through Yonkers Tribune, Brian Harrod, and Ruros, but they don't really make them public because they don't really want people to really attend these meetings or know about them. Despite the practices, the YIDA, like seemingly all agencies in Yonkers, is not immune to scandal. One notable event was the investigation into former Mayor Nick Wasisco of Show Me a Hero fame, as the YIDA's board of directors is led by the city's current mayor. So the mayor is the chair of the YIDA currently, Mayor Spano, and his sister-in-law, Jamie McGill Spano, is the executive director. Wilson Kimball's husband, James Kavanaugh, is the president, the guy that was investigated by the New York State Inspector General. Wasisco himself was himself under investigation for missing agency funds, and this, some speculate, was a motivation for his tragic suicide in 1993. And I wish I was around because I like to know what really was happening there, actually. Present-day officers, as listed on the YIDA's official website, include its president and CEO, Jim Kavanaugh, again, of New York State Inspector General fame, executive director, Jamie McGill, wife of Vinny Spano and sister-in-law of the mayor, and CFO Sibby Oman. Kavanaugh has a storied history in this region with a posting in Manhattan's Battery Park City Authority, as well as later serving as deputy mayor of Yonkers under Mayor Mike Spano just before his current appointment to the IDA. So these guys get shuffled around to various positions, right? They keep him all in the family, all in the circle. Kavanaugh is married to recently appointed chair of the Yonkers Zoning Board of Appeals, Wilson Kimball, who also serves double duty as president and CEO of the Municipal Housing Authority of Yonkers. Ain't that something? Jamie McGill has been with the IDA for almost a decade, having no prior known real estate development experience, but she doesn't need it. Spano is all the credentials you need. Her last professional association was as campaign manager for the former city council president and now Yonkers Inspector General Liam McLaughlin. McGill is also married to Yonkers City Clerk Vincent Spano. Chief Fiscal Officer Sibby Oman appears to lack much of any public information on their credentials or work history. We are waiting confirmation of more details and will update this piece accordingly. Does anybody know who Sibby is? Who is Sibby? Under this joint leadership of elected, appointed, and private cooperation, the YIDA employs different tactics to grow the city. Payment in lieu of taxes, or pilot, is a method to spur an immediate development commitment by collecting an agreed upon lump sum instead of an annual taxation during the lifetime of the project. Now, these pilots are to be given to foster economic growth, but by doing how they do that is by providing jobs to the people of that city, Yonkers, or at least Westchester, right? But they haven't been doing that. These lump sums are always significantly lower than the projected tax burden. So we lose a lot of tax money because we're not getting their, they're not paying their full share, and therefore enticing to investors. Some pilots have extraordinarily long terms, such as the one given for the Point and Ravine apartments for the last 32 years. Additionally, the city may sell municipally owned land, which they have done a lot, to the YIDA at fair market rates to then later be sold to investors like AMS or Ginsburg for vetted projects. Most recently, a lot located at 66 Pierce Street is proposed for sale to the YIDA in the amount of $375,000, which is below market price. This lot is expected to be resold to the aforementioned Ginsburg development companies for the construction of a 36-unit apartment building. Presently, one of the biggest projects is the Hudson Piers mixed-use project led by the Extel Development Company. This is a $585 million investment, will bring 1,400 apartments and numerous commercial spaces along the shore of the Hudson River after a 6-year-long development. This project received a 20-year pilot as well as 100% abatement on taxes, which is the largest residential project to date to receive such benefit. So although they're lying to us and telling us, oh, we cut the terms down to like 10 years, 10 years on the pilots, that's not true. As you see here, the rapid increase in development, particularly focused on residential buildings, have some wary of the knock-on costs. The waterfront downtown area of Yonkers is already a congested mix of cars and pedestrian traffic, to say the least. Growing the population worsens this congestion as well as places additional demand on essential city services like police, fire, waste management, etc. Some worry that the economic gains from these new projects, subsidized by low entry costs and reduced taxation, will actually worsen the city's economic position and the residents' quality of life. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, folks. So these projects that are coming in are bringing in a lot more congestion, traffic, and strain on our utilities, infrastructure, first responders. They're going to have to hire more firemen, I would imagine, police. They're going to have to train them to do fire rescues on these tall buildings. This is what the future of Yonkers is. And it's not done. There are still developments that haven't even broken ground yet. Is this what you want for Yonkers? The cost of living is going to continue to rise as long as these developments are continuing to be built. Many people are going to be pushed out. Many more people, I should say, will be pushed out. And they are doing this. They are colluding to do this. They have a plan. They don't care about the people that live here. And so they've implemented different people into different positions so they can execute this plan. The mayor has a stronghold on the IDA with Kavanaugh and his sister-in-law in those positions. They pretty much run the show. They do as they please there. They've created their own real estate empire almost using city property and taxpayer money. This is what politics for the Spanos is all about. It's all about enriching themselves and continuing the monarchy that Corazon spoke about, the dynasty. And this is the one opportunity this year that we have to change the direction of this city. Doesn't mean stop progress. It means get the corruption out, get the nepotism out, get people who truly care, who are truly capable, who have a passion to see the city be better, but be better for all, and understand what the real problems are. Not, what they always just want to tell us. Oh, we got this, we got education. I'm going to bring more money. I'm going to fight hard for, with the state. The lame excuse. That means to me, they're not going to do anything for the schools. Look at our roads. The roads are horrible. And they're trying to patch them up now because of the election. The mayor's going around doing a lot of press conferences and saying, look at what I'm doing here, look at what I'm doing there. Much of the things that I've spoken about here on Basement Politics that I'm glad that he's finally doing, but it took Freddy Vasquez and Basement Politics to get it done. That's why they're out there. Because I'm on them. Like I was earlier today. When the guy told me to mind my business, the DPW guy, I guess from the water department, I told him he should make sure that the fire hydrants that are being used by the developers have meters. The city residents are paying the bill. They're footing the bill for these developers' water usage. That's why your bill is so high nowadays. And he tells me to mind my business. It is my business because I'm paying for that. And like the article says, are the economic benefits, if any, worth all this development? What are truly we getting for this? What? What are we receiving in return for turning Yonkers into the sixth borough, the official sixth borough of New York City? Because that's what we've become. So what are the benefits? I don't see any. Not for the people here, not for the average person in the city of Yonkers. No jobs. Bring in a lot of residentials, but don't bring in any jobs. Didn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So, folks, I just wanted to get on there and tell you why these individuals are attacking me, why they're speaking about my wife. And any person, a married person that has a loved one, spouse, like you should understand where I'm coming from. Parents, you should understand where I'm coming from. Imagine having your 11-year-old daughter being blasted on this nasty page and the guy's calling her cute and the guy has a history of sexual crimes against children. That would make you uncomfortable and it would make you angry. And the fact that no one does anything, the police, none of the officials say anything about it. This guy's been doing this forever. Right, is a shame, is a shame on them. But what's a bigger shame is that they are actually paying this guy. This comes from officials. This comes from individuals within City Hall, individuals within the Yonkers Democratic Party who want to attack Freddy Vasquez because I am speaking about this, because I'm informing you the truth. I'm informing you about the truth. I'm telling you what's happening here in the city of Yonkers. And they don't like it. So please just be sure that whatever you read about me, you don't believe that stuff. It's disgusting and just don't pay attention to it. And to those that, that support this, that are paying this guy, I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to continue blasting you guys' information out there, right? You want to talk about my wife and my kids and blast, listen, Jamie McGill Spano, $135,000 a year. Like the article says, no prior real estate development experience. Only thing she did before that was work on Liam McLaughlin's campaign, who Vinny Spano said was his boy. No qualification. A lot of people that are hired here are underqualified. Say to Jerris, same things. Your wife is not qualified for that job, but she's making $130,000 a year. So I'm going to continue to talk about that. Thanks to Brian Harrod. So if you want to talk about the whys, we'll talk about the whys. But my wife is private. She's not part of the developments going on here. She's not involved in developments. My wife is not employed in a position where she's not qualified. She passed her test. She got her degrees. And she's not worried about what I'm doing. She's living her life worrying about what she's doing, which is an amazing job. Amazing job. And it bothers you individuals. This is what it is. It bothers these individuals that people like us don't need to have a position based on nepotism because we can't get the job on our own. They can't hack it in the real world. They need someone to give them a position. Can't even pass the test to make it look legit. And so they hate people like us. People that don't need the system, because ultimately they need the system as well. And they keep a lot of good qualified people from getting these positions. And so let's talk about it. Thanks to Brian Harrod. And so this woman, you know, Jamie McGill, making all this money, and they get away with crimes also, right? Plenty of people have told me about the incident where she literally knocked somebody's teeth out. She doesn't get arrested. But they want to talk about that, Brian. And I knew that they were going to do this. That's why they spoke. That's why he mentioned the mayor a little bit, right? He gave some weak criticism, some lame criticism about the mayor. So then he could do this. And then he could say, well, it's not just Freddy. He also attacked the mayor. So, you know, they're not connected because he's attacking everybody. That's what that was about. They think they're so smart. They're so smart, guys. I'm figuring all your stuff out. You're not that smart. Not that smart. You're just corrupt. You're just evil. You're nasty and you're disgusting. And to go after women and children, you're a punk. You're a punk. You're a punk. And I'm just going to continue doing what I do on Basement Politics, right? So anyway, and if I was disgusting and nasty like they were, they would have CPS cases. Just so you know, we're different. I don't call CPS and do what you guys did. We're different because I have a lot of information that was given to me that I could make a report on and send them over to your house. Because I know where you guys live, just like you know where I live, right? But I'm not going to do that. I would never do that. Never. That's disgusting. That's low. And I would never, ever tarnish my own reputation that way. I'm Freddy Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. It's disgusting. This is disgusting here in Yonkers. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed of our government. Corrupt individuals. Folks, have a beautiful Wednesday. I'm up out of here. I'm gonna go out there, knock on some more doors. That's some more stuff to say, but anyway, I'll put it in the post. Check out the article if you want to read it. I got it up there. Put some other information there on some salaries for the YIDA. If you want to check that out. Just keep putting out the information. James Kavanaugh, Lillian Morales, Julie Dijon Balaj, but now Henry's on there. They keep it all within this circle, right? This whole circle, their own friends, folks. So I'm going to be putting out there. Corruption. By the way, P. Spano has a GoFundMe page. If you want to help support P. Spano, he has a GoFundMe page. P. Spano was living in the building 671 Bronx River Road that caught fire last week, I believe, something like that. He was actually on the same floor where the fire originated, right? In one of the apartments on the first floor. He was living in that first floor also. If you want to help P. Spano out, he's got a GoFundMe page. I'll be sharing it on the page here, so you can click on the link and, support if you can. I'm Freddy Vasquez, keeping them honest, and they don't like it. So I'm not going to get aggressive, guys, so you can keep going after my wife. I'm just going to put about you guys' stuff. That's it. Oh, well. 949.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
From the desk of Brian Harrod.
No!